Well, this is an interesting development. Apparently, voice chat natively exists in Splatoon 2, which is weird, right? Since we got an entire app that came out because a lot of people, of course, assume that the Switch was not powerful enough for native voice chat, which, by the way, is absolutely ridiculous. I mean, I've talked to people about this before, and yes, the Switch can do voice chat, guys. Come on. It's able to do it. But the big thing here is Nintendo seems to have added voice chat, then blocked it, developed an entire app so that we could do voice chat, which seems like an insane idea. So let's backtrack a minute so I can explain to you what I'm talking about here. Well, it's been found out that in Splatoon 2 exists a way to do native voice chat through LAN play. And the way you do that is you go to the shoal, and then you hold L and R, and then hold down the left click, or the click on the left joystick, and it will then fade out and then fade back in into LAN play. This is something that apparently cuts off the internet from the Switch. So you're essentially playing over a router. According to Nintendo's own guidelines, you need a LAN adapter, which is obviously a USB to Ethernet adapter, and then multiple switches on the same network. But it will allow you to connect to each other, and you pretty much are expected to be near each other, at least within the vicinity. So you could be in a larger room, you could be in multiple rooms, like we would always LAN a bunch of Xboxes together, for example, and then you can play. What's interesting, though, is as soon as you enter that mode, it seems like native voice chat is turned on, because if you have a headset plugged into that top port, all of a sudden you can hear everybody. You can hear people on your team as you are kind of strategizing and playing. So if you're in different rooms, you can hear each other. And a lot of people are asking, well, that's weird. Why would you need voice chat if you're in the same room or in the same vicinity? Well, the idea from what I'm seeing here, Splatoon 2 is kind of being pushed by Nintendo as a competitive game, right? They showed that big commercial where there were the people marching in for the esports tournament. Well, if you're in that kind of a setting, it's very loud, it's hard to hear, and if you're kind of set up on one side of the table and then everyone else on the other side, and you're trying to communicate back and forth without having to turn and look and talk to people, you can just talk in your headset, and obviously they hear it. And the idea there is that this is more for esports, so of course, as you see everyone in esports do, they have their headset on and their microphones ready. But just the idea of this is insane. Now, a lot of people apparently already knew about this, but for some reason it was never brought up online or in the news. A lot of people have figured this out in tournament play, for example, when people are all playing in the same room and they're all connected through LAN connections. Again, though, it's very odd that it was never brought up, because what this technically proves to us is that the system is fine. It actually has native voice chat built into Splatoon 2, but Nintendo seems very worried about the online interactions, like so worried that they're willing to block everything behind an app that we have to then verify using our cell phones, then you know the person so that you connect to them that way. It's just weird. I don't really understand why Nintendo is so fixated on policing their online services that aren't even rated by the ESRB. There's a reason for that, because they can't control it. They don't know what the person on the other end is going to say. And I understand Nintendo wants to keep their family-friendly image, but, I mean, is it really worth all of this? I mean, how much money do you think they spent developing the app, putting voice chat in, only to then kind of block it out in certain modes? It seems insane, because now they're going to be updating that app for a long time. Like, they're going to be updating it constantly, when if the game just has voice chat built in, you don't have to do all of that. So I don't know what to make of this. It's the weirdest thing I've ever seen. And I'm curious what you guys think about this. The fact that voice chat is built into Splatoon 2, by the way, it's not built into Mario Kart. I tried it. I actually have 2 copies of Mario Kart and 2 Switches, and I plugged in through LAN-based just to see if that option all of a sudden just turns on voice chat for the entire system, essentially, and it just goes by whatever game you have plugged in. Not the case, though, from what I can tell. It seems to only work in Splatoon 2 right now, but I can tell you now, anything that comes over, people are going to test this LAN mode feature out and see if it just has voice chat just blocked. Like it's so weird. I'm curious what your guys' thoughts are. Now that we know voice chat is on the Switch, essentially, it is completely doable, everything works fine, does Nintendo need to lighten up here? Because is it really that big of a deal if voice chat just works natively in random matches with your team? Or is this the swap note thing really bothering them and really left an impact on them to the point where, because strangers were sending inappropriate images to younger kids, that they just assume everyone online is terrible and we can't interact civilly otherwise? I don't know. Let me know what you guys think down in the comments, though, because this just sounds absolutely insane. It's Nintendo coming up with the craziest solution to something that doesn't need a solution, right? Let me know what you guys think down in the comments. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.